Hello everyone, my name is Veronica Toyo, and today I'll be talking to you about why I believe private prisons should be abolished. Did you know that the average prisoner is worth $18,000 per inmate per year, and this is funded by taxpayers' dollars? The government contracts these private prisons because they say it's cheaper than having an inmate go to a public prison, which is a non-profit and it's run by the government. But that is not true. Private prisons aren't cheaper because private prisons also extend the rate and time that inmates stay incarcerated. What is the purpose of prison? To me, is for rehabilitation, to keep criminals, people who do harm to others, off the street, in which it's true they should. But what if I told you that's not what they're doing? Private prisons are for-profit organizations, and they're also funded by banks and large corporations. So basically, also, the more people that are incarcerated, the more money they make. There have been attempts to abolish private prisons. In 2016, Obama administration they attempted to slowly phase out private prisons because one, since they're not run by the government, they're run by corporations. They make their own rules and their regulations, and they're not regulated. We don't know what happens in that system and in that institution. We don't know where our tax dollars are actually going to and how are they contributing to rehabilitate these inmates. And there's been a lot of inhumane things that happen there. And they don't always get reported because they're not a public sector, they're a private organization. So, Obama administration wanted to phase it out. And that was in 2016. And in 2000, so when that happened, stocks for private prisons such as the GEO Group, the CoreCivic Group, these are large private prison corporations names. They have stock. You can buy shares. So in 2016, when that happened, a lot of the shares plummeted. They lost a lot of money. But 2017, when our president now was inaugurated, stocks rose up because they are for profit for private prisons, the Trump administration. The GEO Group won $110 million contract to build new facilities. These companies, these private prisons, also run detention centers, immigration detention centers. It's no surprise that the Trump administration wants to build a wall, wants to create heavier and stricter immigration laws and stricter and harder laws on American citizens is because they make money off of these crimes. They're not here to help. It's not here to change anything. It's only for money that technically we are all paying for. So they got some money. Since 2000, the number of people in private prison have increased by 39%. Private prison in the U.S. incarcerate 1,178 people. And this is 2002, 2017. It's 2020. That number is a lot higher now. So also, what private prisons do to make sure that people stay there, they have these things called infractions, just infractions, which basically, the amount of infractions that you get is how long it extends your stay there. So the longer you stay, the more money they make. And a few years ago, there's another example. The Arizona State private prisons failed to make their quota, and because of that, the government had to pay out about $1 million in fines because it didn't meet their incarcerated quota. Clearly, it's not about rehabilitation or anything else besides making money. They also have these things in their contract, these clauses in their contracts called occupancy clauses. They sneak in the contract when the government signs them, basically saying that there has to be an amount of people there, and they have to stay for an amount of time. Private prisons aren't cheaper than public prisons. People could get their stay extended there for extra years. That means extra dollars for people, for the private prisons, excuse me. So can you only imagine what happens in these private prisons where people are being kept? The violence is worse. The programs for them are unfunded. They also work for free. And then when you get out of prison, you have to pay a fine for having been in prison. To me, it's just not right, and it shouldn't be something that exists.